You can't see them in the air.
Dan's all fired up this
They're all
morning.
cammed out, you know.
Hey, Dan Smith with Vail Mountain Rescue joining us. You weren't here last week. Were you out of town or just off?
I was out of town.
Yeah.
We went down to Santa Fe for a few days.
How was that? Good?
That chili will tear you up. That was. I'm off chilies for a while.
The chili.
I need to
Will
take a chili
tear
break.
you up. Hey, so I mentioned during the show open, and Chris Anthony's a good friend of both of ours. He was inducted this weekend in the Snow Sports Hall of Fame.
Certainly well deserved.
And you said anybody that can ski down in the face of Mount of the Holy Cross deserves to be inducted into the Rock
and Roll Hall of Fame. And if you want to be inducted to a Hall of Fame in Cincinnati, that would be the one.
Wow. Yeah, so hats off to Chris. He's amazing.
I mean,
he's a great spokesperson. He's done a lot for the community, the industry as a whole, and he will continue. So congrats.
We hope so.
Yeah.
We all hope we continue.
And you and your team, you guys do a lot for our community also with Vail Mountain Rescue, and you don't get paid to do it.
No, nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
You wind up putting a lot of your money into it. You wind up with a twin of your gear. Whatever you use for hiking or skiing or whatever sports you engage in, that's the recreational gear. Then you have the twin of it that's in the back of your truck in the right season. Okay. That's the rescue gear. And we don't pay for that. You have to pay for that yourself. So it costs a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. The number of times your wife will wake up at 2:30 in the morning with impunity is there's a limit to that. In 1 week, there's a very serious upper limit. You don't want to do that more than once.
How has this past week or two been? Anything been happening with you guys?
About 10, 12 days, very quiet. The weather was not conducive to hunters going out in the back, and that's our big business this type of year.
That's right. Yeah, that would make sense.
The arrow mission was where the guy fell on his arrow.
So he did fall on his arrow then. It wasn't a matter of him recoiling backwards.
No,
he fell
and
on
he wasn't shot by his brother. We were always worried about that because it's obvious because there's only one arrow in him.
But it went in tip first. It didn't go in feathers first.
And it went in
through his leg.
Broadhead
right? It was
first,
close to his femoral, right?
Right here, 1/4 inch above the femoral artery. We did a debrief for the whole team on it last night, and the paramedic that did the job was there. They were looking at a whole lot of things they might have to do if we couldn't get a helicopter. I mean, if you've got that helicopter, you have a quick transport, and it's not bouncy. If we had to carry that guy out, it was 2 miles to the nearest trailhead where you could hit an ATV, and then about 5 miles by ATV out to where you could hit the ambulance.
A lot of bouncing.
A lot of bouncing.
A lot of opportunities.
With that razor, you got a razor blade a 1/4 inch above your femoral artery. This is not a good thing. So they were looking at various ways to do it. They clipped off the arrow, carbon fiber arrow, and he doesn't have any arrows left. They practiced on all of them to make sure they're getting nice, clean cuts and didn't move it. And then had they had to do a ground transport, they were going to find some way to get that arrowhead out, which would be sort of field expedient surgery, which the doctor that supervises the paramedics probably wouldn't be terribly happy with. And we didn't have to do it because we got the helicopter. It had just come off another mission, so we had the bird and the crew, and got him out, and he was fine. They just, as I understand it, he has a very nice scar. Instead of little orthoscopic surgery, they just went from here to here, picked it up.
And got it right the heck
got
out of there.
Arrow, shaft, everything, one lift. You will bleed out in 3 minutes if you cut your femoral artery.
Wow.
We can't save you. And it's not clampable. I mean, you can't start cutting in there and get a hold of it. It just doesn't do that.
Right.
So you're dead.
Okay. Can you stick around for another interview?
Sure. Glad to.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Dan Smith, Vail Mountain Rescue. We have a look at that weather forecast, and then more with Dan after the break.